Hi, this is Matthew from the Five Steps Project. I'm here in Chiang Rai, Thailand. It's 20 minutes after 11 a.m. on Monday, the 25th of April, 2022. I just came across some postings here. You know, there's some local groups on Facebook here, and I get exposed to different approaches to life, different approaches to interaction and community. And one of the things that happens sometimes in community here is people will make jokes and people will criticize, people will ignore a post. Maybe somebody makes a post, you know, and they say, hey, where can I find help, you know, with this particular situation? And then we'll see a surprisingly large percentage of people ridicule that, say, oh, you don't need that. Why do you worry about that? And never mind. Or they make a joke about the person having trouble in some situation, like trying to deal with the soy dogs biting them, or maybe some bugs in the house or some lizards in the house, things like that, and or any kind of a situation. So there are different approaches that people take, and one of the elitist approaches. Now there are a couple of elitist types of what people are calling communities here in Chiang Rai. They're not communities in my definition of the word. They're tribes. They're kind of a exclusive group because they're limited by who knows about them, who can go to them, how they're limited by language too. But you know, what can we do about that? That's quite a hurdle to overcome when there are people that speak English and they have their own groups, and they're kind of expensive because maybe they'll have kind of a luncheon that costs money that most people can't go to. They're not reaching out to the community at large. They're not reaching out to the population at large, which is what I'm doing. And I'm, you know, trying to do that anyway. But when we look at helping others, or we look at including others, sometimes we only want to include our friends. We want to make it some kind of an exclusive group where we don't want to deal with people we don't know. That's okay too. But are we doing anything to nurture others? Are we doing anything to support the community at large? That means especially the people that are marginalized, people that really need help. You know, the community center that we're building with the Five Steps Project in Uganda is about including everybody, and it's especially the opposite of inviting our rich friends to have a fancy dinner or luncheon somewhere. It's the absolute opposite of that. It's more like finding the people that are really marginalized, finding the people that are in trouble, and finding a way to help them out systematically, not just some kind of throw them a bone on Thanksgiving and think that's going to change their lives, or preach to them with some kind of religious dogma garbage that doesn't help, that doesn't empower them at all. It just gets them involved in a cult. But there can become a connection between getting involved in a cult and getting the support. As long as you obey all of the rules that they have, then you're accepted as a convert. I did that as a Jehovah's Witness when I was a kid. I got so much attention and I really loved it because I was very neglected as a kid at my home in Chicago. But when I went out to LA to visit my brother, who was a Jehovah's Witness, who introduced me to the faith, by the way, once I quit, he hasn't spoken with me for literally 40 years. He won't speak with me. So this is how real that love was. But what was really nice for a while was I felt really, I felt really cared about. People gave me their time, people gave me their energy, they gave me opportunities. We hung out together, we had fun. It was just the happiest time in my life when it came to being important, because I had left this Catholic family and this father that was forcing me to be Catholic and things like that. And I became a Jehovah's Witness, and that kind of made me a star. And I just loved the attention. It was wonderful. But then it disappeared. It wasn't real. When we talk about community, we're talking about including everybody, not just hanging out with our elite friends and saying that's community. In my opinion, it's not. You can go out with some friends, that's fine. But when I use the word community, I talk about an inclusive community. I talk about a nurturing community. And I don't talk about, you know, one meal a year or proselytizing, like I said, preaching to them. I'm talking about supporting people, nurturing them, helping them to actualize as individuals. And that's what true community is about. So what really inspired me to just get on right now and just say this was because I was thinking about how many different types of get-togethers we can have and how we can treat each other. The key to having a better world, it may seem tangential, but it's actually directly related to how we treat each other. And if we have people that are starving, which we do, every 75 seconds, there's a child that dies in Yemen alone from starvation every day, 24/7, 365, every 75 seconds. Are we doing anything about that? No, no, we're really not. And we don't have a culture. In general, around the world, there is no culture for that. Well, what I'm here to do is explain that to people. To the degree that we nurture each other, to the degree that we take care of, especially these children that are starving to death every day, every 75 seconds, to the degree that we take care of them, nurture them, feed them, make sure they have a safe home, make sure they have food, clean water, clothing, shelter. Because we have all of these things, there's no limit to this. It's not like we're running out or like there's some limitation. 50% of all the food that's created every day is thrown away, thrown in garbage. So there's no limit on places to stay. We can build homes if there's a limited homes in a certain area. There are more empty homes in America than there are homeless people, for an interesting statistic. So, people say, what is it you can tell by the culture, you can tell by the development, the advancement of a society, by how well they treat animals. Well, of course, it's especially true. How well do we treat each other? If we look at our compassion index, not our intelligence quotient, but we look at the compassion quotient, for example, this world is very, very stupid. I mean, it's ridiculously stupid when you look at it. Who cares about intelligence? You don't need a high IQ in order to be compassionate. You need a high compassion quotient. You need the ability to care about other people, to take initiative to do something about it. And I don't care if you don't know what to do or how to do it, you find out. Ask me and ask a million other people who are doing so much out there in the trenches to help others. They're the minority, by far the minority. Automatically, as soon as we help each other, as soon as we save each other, as soon as we seek out and find solutions and help these people, I believe the solution is community centers. I think it's absolutely necessary for everyone on earth to belong to a community center so that they can help and so that they can get help, so that we have a sense of community. This idea about big governments, it's not working. Sending checks in the mail, it's ridiculous. That's not helping anybody to actualize. It's just a handout. It's just a handout. You wait for the check, but you don't do anything. You're not helping anybody, and nobody's helping you. And all of us have things to share. So this is the untapped gold mine in the world. And once we tap that gold mine of helping each other, and those that get help are able to share help at one point, once they survive, once they're taken care of, once they're nurtured, once they have a place and a way to do that. Once we do that, the world will change in such an incredible way. I wonder how many children died of starvation that would have been able to be doctors, that kind of could have found the cure for cancer, or could have created some renewable energy source or something like that. All the technology that we're looking for. What about battery technology? How many people are dying that could have been taken care of and reached, breakthroughs in certain areas that we really need? The key to having a better world is looking inside of ourselves and finding our compassion and acting on that. That's my opinion. Thanks so much for listening. This is Matthew at the 5 Steps Project. Have a wonderful day. I love you.